Simo.
I'm around so that you go.
JB.
Yeah.
I think, sir, ya kotu abano wa hu. Makacho say, oko na democracy si hoa, and I say, aban si hoa, and if there is any regime, it will be wrong for you to think, say, abano is in place because our soldier for our policy for our high, or two or no more my hobine. We are sad and won't take politics and the governance, I say. The establishment anywhere under a democratic sector pubiano, a dear bohobine, a trust and confidence as citizens, a repose in that establishment. The very moment that trust and confidence is withdrawn, the establishment becomes shaky.
Yeah.
Obekaya, Sri Lanka. President, you know, Nipa boom sorry, you know, soldier 420 couldn't stop them.
Prime Minister Kyei.
Ghana, unfortunately, yet the Jubilee House we have a BSc. Sagana for so say you we are marching to the Jubilee House. We are fine we Ghana.
Of course, yeah.
We are fine you run away. So you must at any point in time manage the trust and confidence and make sure say people don't lose trust in the institution called democracy. Because Ebasa and a day Amaneba, my culture around the sub-region in recent times we've seen countries are almost swapping coup d'etat for almost swapping democracy for coup d'etat. Ghana for the like your minor train was almost half you now call your friends military junta. Ghana is not immune from this. In recent times, Akufo-Addo Tisano didn't say money. Ekaka Krebi and Ghana for Nka Yenyaku has say people are even boldly on TV saying say coup a better than. Because they're not yet tehono, na nye governance, na nye democracy. It was more or less like a Ponzi scheme that was being spearheaded by some unwitty criminals who felt say nye two minti abeye. So at this point, we had that massive win for President Mahama. Say Ghana became so much convinced that acrophobia for Yesika. And for that matter, I am going to vote for them to account for their crimes. And that was the motivation man for the Kokotoaba. So at this point, I mean, Kasado do be anywhere. Ebe put Ghana for off that particular way until they see people in jail.
Exactly.
Kasado do be anywhere. Obeya. Ebe ma Ghana for I give up. Say no because my catchers adia yapa ni se nipa onim nyansa ewia. No de to me try no ho and you can't do anything about it. And that is what these people did to us. The evidence was quite clear. Omono Makacha said they were unwitting criminals. We are no movie, no crano. They couldn't even hide it. We are not there, China Dabonting. We are China Dabonting. Cromphonians are for Ben, we are the China. You see? So these were unwitting criminals.
Unintelligent.
And I am saying, sir, this is the time Kasado will be able to justify that particular thing. So Attorney General should start speaking with prosecution.
That's only the point.
I am somebody I've always advocated. Say yes, in governance there must be a flow of communication. Yes, it's very, very important. But you see, these are a different realm altogether. When it comes to the Attorney General prosecution, those things, these are sensitive realms. The only language, the only press conference you can do is somebody is standing prosecution. And the person has been convicted.
Exactly
that is the only press conference Ghana for tears here. And there are a lot of people at this time. You see, if care is not taken, there is goodwill on President Mahama's side because economically Ghana is on good footing. The president is doing a lot of great things. But there is one thing. Ghana for the
prosecution.
The prosecution. And how safe we can counter some of these things. Now, no, you will expect clearly certain definitive statement to be given and clear this whole thing. Because there are people on social media speculating, oh, I buy cotton Ghana, Nigeria for and so forth. These are people making their own news. You can't control it. So it is you. And I would just spell all this nonsense. What I say? Now, what's national? We don't say anything. Then it gives credence. Nipati or the back. And I'm a catcher say, I buy governance in the edit to abide. Sometimes you say hardcore Nipan evidence or a perception, a key.
Oh, of course.
Or Nyateba continue in a ton of dreamer. That is what they preach. And you must always move in to dispel and distill some of these things. There will be clarity. But my catcher say, in governance, you must never create a vacuum. The very moment you create a space, people will fail it for you. What they fail with it, you can't control it. It is either propaganda, necessary because one hour jai amana existe. What I say? And I think there, Attorney General, what people Ghana for person who say nipa no mu wi a yesika di yesika no. We want to see them facing prosecution. Hey, Opa, you can't turn worse. You can't. There is nothing that me am tell you can't say anything to convince me.
But if what me anya kukudro, say what you want to me. Edna kwa to me ya granting the bail. What is preventing you so the be court the following day?
No, I know.
What is the essence of the fast track high court?
I understand, sir. There be none on make us your friends saying the criminal your friends say prosecution regime no is not always doesn't always align with public sentiment and your emotions and as for because
this has nothing to do with public sentiment.
But say JB first no more say Chief Justice wo hono ma justice toko nu wo hono ma say ankofo wo do am court wan hwe aye nu baby because onu na be judges and unfortunately for you or unfortunately for MPP ma suspend no acting Chief Justice aduma wo ye more than
you see the point is that obi to say question yantechi na na do me echi no
yeah
and no some omukọ granting the bail right till now on court enko bebia enko kase bia because of asem we ABCD and the man echi no and as say wafa ne ho adi akoka na asem we ne yafa ne ho adi so what was the essence of the arrest
so me my point is
the same thing happening to now yachi to me granting the bail
and JB say who can answer what's the essence of say you be prosecute you do for no
that say
what's the essence of say
Attorney General is telling us to say only interest will case ni mu be granted if you don't have any interest you drop it but on Kenya man do latter day it be at the 3rd year in your administration na fe na o pre ho so kwakọ o de na court na court ni so shed time near delay diversionary tactics near the nsem bia ba hye ho no mu sa delay tactics na judges for ni bi so e fa ho de ayeye no those ones are madness. So the country cannot be governed like this.
Yes, it's nation no mobile no ma drop no. Judge for motinas no. O ma fa ho ayeye pa I'm telling you.
That is the point.
So police say do agongo no mu ni sa cases ni nyina no. O ma yeye. Judge so motina cases so o ma ya de for because of those cases.
So me case ni say in as much as you cannot align criminal prosecutions with public sentiment in as it doesn't mean say public will shut up. Always in their minds, they will be in an eager stance, expecting something. So government must also make sure, say, have many times that we here to gather evidence to start because Obi expecting say by now to miss prosecution as static.
Exactly the point. That is what I'm talking about.
And National Service Secretariat almost something has started. But yesterday he comes back to say it's a new evidence. You see, as some no cause we need new evidence. You can always amend your charge sheet, present new evidence. You see, we must do things to sustain trust. Because we are sitting on a very narrow thread where people think, oh, the NDC MPP, that is the kind of impression you need to do away with some of these things because the crimes that these guys have committed in this country against the state richer overnight and in doing so and we've lived in a country where people have been jailed for willfully causing financial loss to the state and today people are foolishly they've caused financial loss to the state. So jailing them will be so easy. You understand? This. So I think that you see the Attorney General must up the games in now making sure say prosecution is what Ghanaians want to see. Anything beyond that, Ghana will not take it serious. So I posted one of his videos, one of my social handles. Now, comment and I say it's the way Ghanaians feel.
Of course,
they don't care about the press conference. They want to see prosecution because how come somebody has been granted bail for the past bear? To me for how many weeks
now every day I say for who bet the CID for Koyoku.
Yeah, you may be gathering evidence, but evidence kakrana wenya you can start and then you see
you don't have any evidence. What was the basis of the arrest?
And yes, 6 months kasa no ya doso. Eduru we bi na Ghana for bambua then people claw back.
Oh no.
We you must be smart, yes. Criminal prosecution take time. you must be very meticulous in gathering evidence and standing the test of prosecution in court. Evidential value near high, but you must enter a say public trust and confidence at the same time must be sustained.
Yeah.
And that was more important than any other thing. We are not Ghana. We say Akufo-Addo abayeno. Everywhere we are Ghana for be I say. There is nothing you do ever Ghana for. So I think we need to take a cue from this particular thing, and government making sure say Obian kase ko which hanti obi. Obian kase nipa mfa asem koto obi so na channel. Na mmom omo si omo bo e de omo nsa bo man sikam etimi toto estate ahodo kwabra ne timi ko gina estate. No wa kan dan 26 abomu ntua kama me. Na bank atua na nansefo no. What I say, there are accomplices and other people. We cannot do this. National Service Secretariat, Kwabraniti baby, ye de amount for Ghana card, a creative way, and ye share a hoka, a school for now. And answer one way national service.
The personnel for
we know, not Lord of Fair, Quantisika or Modema, and 500 Ghana is a sika. No,
na kwabrane akọ invest
na kwabrane wa akọ invest kwa keke wa sign ade aye collateral na kwaje
loan.
You can do this thing.
Treasure bills
na software ka kire nse no na omusika tido na Ghana ni sika ntino no bo Ghana mo sam hunu we na yetete sa nnema cathedral issue no me say asofo no mo ka ho no they must prosecute all of them. What is this? I think say anya sa nema we na say asa nema na confidence no chance slip biema. It will rob any other thing the president is doing.
Exactly.
Because on the other side, my culture, there are a lot of good things happening.
Yeah.
But because of this particular thing, you know, so
when
to me and because and then you cannot think that Ghana for a gullible anymore. Trust me, there is nothing you can do to convince them. All that they want to do is prosecution. So I am challenging the Attorney General. I've said it before. Say narrative twisting, talking, explanation as if no, we don't care. Go and prosecute people, and that is the only message Ghana for tears here. But now 4 years, 8 years, people massacre and doing so. No, you also want those in this government to say. This is the fate that awaits you. And then Lumba would have a month for trying to now also the because so I think that is the message we must stand. And yes, the Ghanaian dream will never be realized.
But I say, my mom will be 1 minute if I wrap it up. So my starting free now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boko. JB, we MC a renew curfew no from 2 p.m. Not just say eja. Sabi.
But you see, okay,
Sabi. Enwanu ponchi kwa nka omu ngu dem ntem saa so but se ne yesi kwa do service senior high school yetimi wrem kutututu okum nipa I escalate here Ashanti region se no de yenim de beka biem but as it's getting out of hands ya jinsemu ntimi de anope de me kanya se agufuo wom esan so obi ba ko school ni abore school ni akwa kokunu a so what in the panel fancha Eden, but for how long? Any a better akoso. How much I say a moja and boko. Nesika was a try educate development, social amenities, and near basic things and munya because mukumu. I was some here peacekeeping, as a soldier for ba, as a police for ba, ye poor police for civilians, you soldier for boko, yes, Remo.
But I say,
yes,
Adjubro, I mean,
yes, Remo. 2 p.m. Mona say, 2 p.m. Mona say, what damn time so I will be number when you're not bending baby.
And I'm ending. Lucius,
yeah,
it's becoming very scary.
Me the American say boku di no the mesre say minim say sabre no otumfo ene
I didn't say you otumfo
no me dey say for sabre no otumfo mom ne why say bayi ni say onye mediation no nya sa mpempi no meta kan sa say we say enema bi te say religion tribe, chieftaincy, famra, any d.
Yeah, sure.
Say all them ra edia na need no ed.
Yeah.
Ha. Nessa all can one someone so. So yashi because in Pempi no sa ni ma mi nsan ya mabos you know. Na enhye down follow yi normal principles we musa. What you say?
Yeah.
Say o hwe boko nsensem ya somewhere 1955 1958 hobiano court okra rule court rule ba ayi asase no eye be de ne ba se betimi si ohian kasa but once I say na meka aye no senka emra etumi esisa ne ma na no kwan a nka somewhere 55 58 hon even 2003 kura mpo no the same thing court sign rule edema even kusasefo you understand
yeah but your time into the
time into me person me kan say emra no ne say ye be kan history hwan asase ne en de hwan ese osi hini ne nasefo no nyina no mesre say esen kasabre we say no nka adobro ye nyina ye mfa ye nto babia yida
all right
ehonu no ese besu be nyampuntu sa ho te honum na se ho kunkum ho na abanya japade ye wo ho sese no private entities niema ho se na development in den emma
all right
what you say
that's it innocent 1 minute
yeah JB I think say Boko issue no we've been brushing you see say peace be prevail depending on people who are involved in this whole thing and it is about time I kind of crash almost say they need to stop this things ko babia ye gina se we ase gina no those things belong to antiquity medieval state tete no na we aware na we are so sansem hunu no this modern space no people are looking for development. You see, enye obi the free stand cost stop that particular fight. Otumfo obeka de obeka. President Mahama obeka if the people there are not willing to stop. Omu who say the life of their kids are on the line because what they are doing, their children will come and continue the same line.
Yeah, sure.
Go there and see poverty. Now what is this nonsense? I think we need to speak to them in plain language. Say peace will start with them. And they must give peace a chance because you see, soldier for the police for na yaso amaka ma hwen no. Ye video mo for na poko si anwumre. Sika na ban eye no. Ndi sa na man de entimi si hospital.
Oh. Ebesi wo
na ohene na ye ku ye ho na ye uye si ohene na what is it?
Yeah.
You see, I think sometimes we need to make concessions and let some of these things go. Ohene na the ma wade ya na besi. Ohene otesoro ana wotibia so. Enye formal na betena. I think we need to look at the greater good, look at the life of the people there. Na ene omo aba da beduru Kumasi o. Yeti o kire na adu Accra. And some of these things who nkete sa no. Ukọ north ho nso ho na ene Burkina sa ya Sahel ho. Amamfo do mo ba jim. I think the state must be very radical in dealing with some of these things. And yes, these things will be happening more and more and more.
Very well. It shall be well. Babinda wase. Nana Mabata, Ubetu Aso, Sana Lucius, Babinda wase. Na